Visitors are expected to converge on a number of venues today to pay their respects to Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu, and among them, Vilakazi Street. It is the only street in the world on which two Nobel Peace Prize winners have lived, Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu and Nelson Mandela. Tutu's family have lived in their Soweto home since 1975, and scores of people have been visiting since his passing just yesterday. Our reporter Lindokuhle Xulu is back with us to give us more of the very latest, of course, within that particular street of Vilakazi Street. And Lindo, earlier on speaking to quite, impassioned, residents of Soweto, those who say that they do, feel for Mamlea at this time, for the family around this passing. It's a loss, I suppose, not only for the family, but also for the community of Soweto. What else do you have for us?
Well, we've just been observing, Tumelo, people just coming through here at the Tutu house in Soweto, just next to the Sakumzi restaurant, but essentially coming here to put their messages. We saw Ulentujabu, the one you were speaking about, that we spoke to earlier. He had 2 roses, and he says that those roses were from his garden, but it's essentially been the same picture we've been seeing. Not a lot of people as compared to yesterday, where we saw many people coming here, but today it's just bits and pieces of people trickling in here, but they all have the same message. They have left the comfort of their own homes. They have taken time out of their lives to come and actually pay tribute to someone they believe was an important, iconic figure in South Africa. But perhaps if we can just take a listen to some of those voices we've been able to capture here, just telling us really why is it that they came here, why is it that they wanted to come personally and deliver whatever they had in hand, but in honor of Ubaba, the Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Let's take a listen to some of those voices earlier on.
We just came over the weekend to come and celebrate the family gathering, but we heard that our father, the grandfather of the nation, has passed on. So he had just to pass, just to pay our tribute to the family. Oh, he was a nice grandfather. He was the father of the nation. He used to, to do so grateful things to the family, to the entire world, actually. Yes.
There is so much that is propagated on Facebook against Ubaba Tutu. And to an extent, somebody, as a young person, called me a dog of white monocapital. The dog has gone, and then there's a picture with him with hands with former President de Klerk. This man taught us a sense of patriotic. This man, when people boo President Zuma on Mandela's memorial, he stood out and chasing us as South Africans. South Africa and Africa and humanity was everything to him. And I will still reiterate, at the end of the commission in December 1997, he said to Mam Winnie, just say I'm sorry, things went wrong. Because as the mother will be in the kitchen and the child will be in the bathroom, they'll be paying themselves, things that can happen in your hindsight. He never sold out. He never crucified it. Just say I'm sorry, things went wrong.
And Lindo, they were just hearing definitely, coming from one of the residents saying with a lot of misinformation, I suppose, even on social media, those giving their opinions, trying to taint the legacy of Ubaba Tutu. But he's saying that, I suppose, it is the responsibility of those who also know of him to speak about the contribution that he has truly made in this country.
That's right, Tumela. And in fact, as you speak about the criticism that we are seeing of Archbishop Desmond Tutu, of course, that is coupled by some people who are singing praises of him and his contribution and being the moral compass of the country. I'm reminded of a Zulu saying that says, "Abantu abayi ngancane bengamanzi." So essentially that means that people will never agree on the same thing. But then again, it lies in every one of us to say that what do we judge him based on and all of those things. But at the end of the day, what really should be important right now is the mourning process that the country is in, to pay respects really to the families. And that is essentially what that bite was saying earlier on, to say that yes, there might be that criticism, but at this very moment, it is a time of mourning and it is a time of paying respect to someone who, while many people may have different opinions, but contributed in terms of the struggle against apartheid and also just helping the country navigate its way into the new democratic dispensation that they had in 1994. But Tumelo, one of the other interesting interviews we had earlier was of Sakumzi, the restaurant owner just here, a famous Sakumzi restaurant in Soweto. But he also paid some tribute to the man, the Archbishop, speaking about the fact that, you know, they were family friends. At some point, they even considered having a gate in between their houses because they wanted ease access of these two families. But he speaks about how he himself, growing up, looking at this figure, he was taught about humility, he was taught about respecting people, and he says that going into a business such as this one, where many tourists come through, he says many of the values that he's been taught by the Archbishop, he really sees them in action now, interacting with different people of different places, from different international places. But he says that the lessons that he took there are the reasons why he's still able to continue to attract those people, because of the humanity that he was taught. So certainly among the criticism, you will find beautiful stories like that of the Archbishop.
Yeah, and just speaking of mourning and paying tributes, Lindo, any events that you know about that perhaps have been planned to continue to honor the legacy of the Arch within the area?
Not at the moment, Tumelo. We haven't heard of anything. What has been happening is just behind me, the sort of wreath laying messages on the wall of the Tutu house here in Vilakazi Street. But you would see that there is an expectation, because many of my media colleagues also trickling in here, stationed just near this place, because it does feel like there's something that is bound to happen, but nothing officially confirmed as far as some of those tributes and some of those events that would be looking to pay homage to the Archbishop. But at the moment, we're just observing here, we're just looking at people and interacting with them as they come to the Tutu house to pay their respects.
And indeed, beautiful images we've seen from you, Lindokuhle, especially one of that father and his children, just to show that they will continue to tell even more generations after them of the legacy that the Archbishop has left behind. Thank you so much to my colleague Lindokuhle Xulu out in Vilakazi Street, ensuring that the voices of the residents of Soweto are heard at this time.